What up, guys? It's Monday. We're about at noon here on the East Coast. You might be noticing the background might look a little different behind me. We're working on some things, making a couple changes here and there, and we might have some new stuff coming up soon. But anyway, last minute, my boy Chimera, moderator here on our channel, asked me if I wanted to join his fantasy football league. Just due to I think they had a man drop out or whatever, and it's only a six-person league, so it's not going to be shouldn't be a hard draft, but I was very excited to join. It's a great opportunity to kind of practice a little bit here. If I am going to do another one. I apparently have. I thought I had the first overall pick. We have the second overall pick, it would seem. I'm a little terrified, honestly. I really don't know which direction they're about to go with this. Whoever holds the first overall pick. But if it's case boy, if he takes Christian McCaffrey off the board, where do you go right after that? Let's see here. We're gonna share screen. Yeah. Whew. About to make a name for myself. You just make sure they remember they know what happened here today. Man, I am terrified about this draft, to be 100% honest with you. I don't think there's a way for me to make that better. I don't think there's getting people coming in, man. Draft starts in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Should be a pretty quick draft. I don't know whether it's 30-second rounds or 60-second rounds. But with only 6 teams, it's gonna go quick. Oh man. Are we going running back or wide receiver with pick 1? That's the real question. Thought I'd ask. We might as well ask. Who you taking number 1, bro? Risky for the Trubisky is his name. Of course, our fantasy football name for this one's going to be, hey, what up, Chimera? I'm ready for this, my guy. Well, not really. I didn't go to sleep until like 6 a.m. today, so I am so physically exhausted right now. But I am excited for this draft. I don't feel mentally prepped like I normally do, but maybe that's a good thing. And no matter what, if I do have another fantasy football league, this will be great practice for it. I'm really interested to see who Risky for Trubisky is going to take number 1 overall. Almost everybody's taken still McCaffrey number 1 overall. Don't tell Niner fans this. I got deep down like this sickening worry, and that was before he was put on the Madden cover. But hopefully I'm wrong, right? I'm gonna go blow my nose before we get started. We got 44 seconds. Got a little bit of some mocha, like iced coffee stuff here. Got to get the brain flowing again. Man, nobody's responding. Oh, we are officially. Oh, and wait, I'm so confused. Did CeeDee Lamb? Okay, Christian McCaffrey. Okay, why? Okay, that's because he's the. Hmm. I'm taking my boy Derrick Henry. We going off script. I might have just made one of the worst decisions of the draft right there, potentially. But we'll see. We'll see, right? What up, my boy Steve-O? I got the perfect pick of catching from the tunnel. That's dope, my guy. Glad to hear he had some action there in the second preseason game. We've been wondering about him a lot. Oh, Bijan Robinson coming off the board to number 3. CeeDee Lamb still on the board here. Of course, he wants a new contract, so he might be less inclined to play. Just one of those ones I didn't trust it, man. Like, I know his point value is way higher than a lot of people. Tyreek Hill. We got quick picks here. Jonathan Taylor, Tyreek Hill, Breece Hall. Some of these running backs flying off the board. And see, that's why I couldn't let somebody have my Derrick Henry, man. You know what I'm saying? And we're picking second, man. We got a long way in the snake draft before we pick again. A lot of good players about to come off the board. Oh, Travis Kelce coming off with the first pick of the second round here. Tua, we got a quarterback off the board in round 2. Amon St. Brown, that'd have been my pick. Amon St. Brown was my go-to guy here. Losing him really is really going to hurt. I definitely don't trust Kyler Murray. Get the ball to Marvin Harrison. No. It's too early, Levi. Too early. I put faith in him a year ago, and he kind of let me down. Garrett Wilson coming off the board. Garrett Wilson, I took in my fantasy football draft last year. It seemed like it was going to be a match made in heaven. And you saw right there, he put up the same points as Puka with no quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers can show any semblance of healthiness, Garrett Wilson becomes one of the best wide receivers in fantasy football this year. And that's my prediction. But we got a running back. We got a wide receiver. I would prefer to add another running back or wide receiver coming up next. After that, we might target. I might go wide receiver or running back and then add tight end. There goes Patrick Mahomes, Saquon Barkley off the board. So we got a second quarterback. This is where it's about to get tough. Well, we got it left at running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, got injured the other day. I don't trust Pacheco. I do like Kyron, but there's a lot of competition in that running back room. Ooh. It's too early to take that shot on Jonathan Brooks. Is this where we go tight end? Is this where we take Mark off the board? Nah. God, this is tough. I don't want anyone to take my boy Lamar. Got to take Puka. Going to continue to hope he carries that progress in his second year, and we're going to sit back and pray. CJ Stroud coming off the board. My boy, that was you, Chimera, wasn't it? The winter Buffalo. That's a good pick. This is where it's gonna get tough. Like, I can't even lie to you. I've got 7 picks to work through here. I know who I want with my pick, and I know who I want with my next pick. It's already boom, boom for me. It's just whether they'll be there when I'm picking. And let me know in chat, guys, if you're there. Where would you go here? Okay, there goes Kyron Williams off the board. We got Jamar Chase right after it. Welcome to Miami. Yeah, Jamar Chase. I mean, it's just like a Waddle for Chase swap, basically. Jahmyr Gibbs coming off the board after Chase. CeeDee Lamb finally coming off the board, round 4. I mean, it's a 6-man league, but like still. Sam Laporta coming off the board. Good for my boy Laporta. Really liked him. Oh, we're 2 picks away. We're 2 picks away here. We got the second tight end coming off the board. I need my boy to be there. Still a lot of good players left on this board. And when again, I talked about it a little earlier with the 6-man league here. Not gonna really have to stretch for depth early. You know, a lot of these leagues, man, you gotta find that diamond in the rough. You gotta find someone that like you're almost banking on an injury in a sense on someone else's team. It's kind of funny. Last year, I had a little bit of a bet going with Payo time, the LA Rams or the Canadian LA Rams fan, and me and Payo were betting on how. Oh, is it your pick, Chimera? Mike Evans just came off the board to football his life. I believe Chimera, the winter Buffalo. Hey! Oh, did you take? Yo, you took my boy Zay? We gonna fight. We gonna fight. But it gonna be all right. I'm gonna take my boy Mark Andrews off the board here. I could have taken Kyle Pitts, to be honest with you. I think he's got huge upside. There goes Justin Jefferson. And you know we taking my boy Lamar here. I know it's like a thing to usually have 2 people from the same team, but I don't care. I wanted to get my exact guys that I wanted. I've got 3 Ravens. So I've really got to think heavy on my bye week right now as well. Definitely got to also finish out this wide receiver and running back combos. RC on Iowa Hawkeyes, Las Vegas. What's good, bro? How you doing, my guy? We're having a little 6-man league fantasy football draft right now. We're filling out this team. There goes Josh Allen to football his life. Oh, Chimera. Did you just lose Josh Allen? Devon Achane came off the board after Lamar Jackson, Raheem Mostert. So basically almost back-to-back running backs from Miami. Kind of crazy. Achane got picked before Mostert, but like I do understand before the injury, Achane was the best back in the league. Michael Pittman Jr. coming off the board there. And again, we're looking for running back, wide receiver here. I have a feeling I'm about to lean towards running back. Oh, this is about to be tough. There's some good ones too. Drake London, that's a good pick in my opinion. That's got super high potential. It's not gonna get you that like probably every week, but it could. It could be a super. I know who I'm about to pick actually now. This guy carried my fantasy football team at some points. I believe he was one of the highest scoring players at his position last year. Okay, we got Kenneth Walker coming off the board. That's a good pick. Dalton Kincaid. Maybe it's football life in Chimera. George Kittle finally coming off the board. That's a great pick. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with this next pick, I got feelings. He carried me. He had a 40-point game with Justin Fields and Tyson Bagent. I got a feeling from what we have seen from Caleb Williams, DJ Moore might be in store for a huge season this year. Super excited about that young man. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team, DJ. I'm going to do what's best for the team. Don't you forget it. All right, we're back on the clock here after Chris Olave and Trey McBride come off the board. We're looking for another starting running back here. There's a lot of good options. Zamir White might get a lot of carries. Jonathan Brooks is, I think, the favored to win that spot. Okay, so he's going to miss a few weeks. We're going to pass on him. Do I take the shot on JK here? Or is it Gus? We're taking the shot on JK here. If JK can get back to any type of form, he is a huge hit right there. I could have gone with a safer pick like James Cook, Josh Jacobs, Rashad White. I might take more of those shots later. Let me see. Who did Tampa bring in? I know they brought in some Bucky Irving. Does Bucky take that job? No, Bucky doesn't take that job. Let's see here. Chargers, Falcons, Bears, Jets, Saints, Herd. RC says, where are all the linebackers? It's fantasy football, my guy. Don't work like that. Your 16 league sounds reasonable. I'm gonna freaking 16 is rough. Usually, like I've played like 10 to 14. I don't even know if I've ever played in a full 16 team league. That is insane. Yeah, you got in a 16 team league, bro. You got that is some good shit. That would be like slightly fun in a different way than this, you know. TJ Hawkinson. Now we got Kyle Pitts, James Cook, TJ Hawkinson. Some fun facts, guys. Teams with the predicted easiest schedule in 2024: the Falcons, Chargers, Bears, Jets, and Saints. So players on those teams, actually a lot of really good value there. This is going to be really tough. Oh, that's probably the pick. But he's on the decline. I don't want to bet on any of the Steelers. I mean, last year I drafted Tajay and he barely saw many touches. But they brought in Pollard, and which I heard a lot of Titan fans weren't really that ecstatic over. Like, what's Washington's depth chart look like? Brian Robinson. Eckler's the veteran here. We're going to just go BPA here. I mean, Nico's still on the board. This is so wild. Oh, Terry could be. really want more running back help. Is it Travis? We take a Tank. That's getting tough, man. Like, there's a lot of good players, but like none I'm super in love with, and I haven't done my study. I'm taking my boy. I don't care. It's worth it. I'm taking the first kicker off the board here with Justin Tucker. My bye week is going to be really rough. I should probably look into that here. Okay, bye week 14. Week 14 schedule. So let's see. What's the matchup that we want to be on? Seattle, potentially. They're playing Arizona. I like that matchup on Seattle's side. Atlanta's playing Minnesota. We need to load up on some Atlanta players. Hurd. If there's any left, that is. I mean, Kirk's still on the board. That's probably where we're going. I heard good things about Casey Washington, but not enough. Excuse me. Kirk's probably going to be our backup quarterback and our backup defense, or I should say Atlanta's going to be. Oh, Niners defense. Someone took my Ravens defense. Welcome to Miami. Bro, we going to fight. I'm going to fight someone who just took my defense, bro. I'm a little upset about that. I ain't going to even lie. Oh, we got to fight now. There goes Nico off the board. Let's think here. So I lost my defense. That's really unfortunate. At that point, I'm probably just going to swap defenses throughout the year or take a surprise, get one that's left. So let's focus on depth here. I can probably get a good trade opportunity out of a tight end. There's still some solid running backs here. Wide receivers. I mean, Stephon Diggs, if he's anything like he used to be with CJ Stroud, that's a huge pick. Malik Neighbors already got predicted points. I'm really thinking about that Terry McLaurin pick, though. Ooh. After Nico, we got Rashad White, Brock Purdy, and the Lions. We're going to take Terry McLaurin, the Washington wide receiver. Basically been their number one wide receiver for a while. Could have a career renaissance with Jaden Daniels. I forgot all about Rome Odunze. Brandon Aubrey, Jets defense. I do need more running back help. The problem is I don't trust half of these people. You know what? If that's the case, I'm just going to go ahead and take my swing here. He's not going to be ready for a few weeks, but I have a feeling when he comes back, he'll be the guy. He's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks of the season. And then I'm about to start taking some of my real sleepers here. We got a while before we come back. Oh, guess I need to start thinking about. It's like I want to start thinking about backups because 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, Washington and Houston have the same buys. Oh my God. That's so rough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players on bye. 1, 2, 3. I I don't even know if I'd have enough players to at this point to cover everything. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I kind of do, but not. So we got to focus on that. That's for sure. Who's got a good? I got to look at the week 14 matchups again. Like Jake Elliott, DK Metcalf, Anthony Richardson, and Jordan Love coming off the board. Someone took the Dallas defense. I got a lot of faith in Dallas. Man, dude, I got to find a good matchup. The Atlanta Minnesota is going to be good just because how bad Minnesota is dealing with injuries. Oh, okay. We identified a second matchup for week 4. We identified the matchup that we're looking for. Let's go find some players from that team. Ooh, not enough. Not enough, sadly. That is a tad bit rough. I guess I'm about to take the shot on Stephon Diggs and see if he's a target monster or not. Take a shot here. Let's see. Oh my God. How does Buffalo have week 14 bye? You've got to be kidding me. It's literally got to be a joke, right? That's so freaking rough. Oh, murder me. I'm going to bet on my boy Tajay again. And then I should probably go get my backup quarterback finally. I need backup quarterback, backup tight end, defense. And either backup defense, backup kicker, essentially. I feel like I pigeonholed myself a little too much with these picks. I could have had a more rounded strategy. And of course, there's so many players left that there's going to be a lot of free agency moves because again, it's a 6-man league. That's how it works. So there's going to be a lot of potential to make moves in free agency. So I'm not really that worried as I normally would be. Like if this was a 12, 14-man league, I would be terrified with my roster composition right now, especially considering the bye weeks. But I'm hoping maybe this league will have some active trading. Most leagues, I don't know, that played in, I feel like they don't have the trades that I won't. The only league I've ever played in that had the trade that was more active in trades was it was a very competitive money league I was playing in, $1,000 buy-in at with some of the airport guys I worked with. And yeah, one of the trades that went down dead middle of the night with only a 1-hour veto window was these dude and his cousin basically traded all of his players, like, bust players that are injured, for the other guys, all of his best players. So completely cheated. And one of the guys ran the league out of the two. One game before, I'm sorry, 2 games before playoffs started, dude made the playoffs. I lost to him in the first round of the playoffs, double game format by like less than fucking 5 points. I was so angry. And your boy took a break from fantasy football after that one. I was like, man, I'm. And then I went and won my mom her league. Basically, it was funny. I actually the money pick I got for her. Please be there still. Dang, is he gone? Dang, someone took him already. Oh, and I can't take Jaden. I mean, I guess I'm taking Dak as the backup. I don't really want it, but I feel like that's got to be the pick here. I need him for one game. In that game, he's playing against Cincinnati on Monday Night Football. He might put on a show on Monday Night Football. I ain't mad about it. All right, I don't have a defense. Man, I really want to bank on the Seahawks defense, but I'm not 100% sure if they'll be that guy. I wish I remember what the Texans draft looked like. Will Anderson continues. They brought in Daniel Hunter. They've got a week 14 bye. Never mind. Well, actually. Do I take this bank on the Seahawks? Taking it. I'm following Mike McDaniels over there in Seattle. I'm taking that D. All right, we got to find a week 14 running back and a tight end. Let's see what we got for tight ends still. Oh, yeah, we got good tight ends still. We got good tight ends. Check Washington's depth chart. That's what I thought. I forgot Hayden Hurst is over there in freaking LA too. I remember there was one fantasy league I played in that where I was picking how the draft was falling, I was not really getting the players I was in love with. And I started going more with the general strategy of best player available. Simple as that. Just really taking like who I thought was truly the fantasy points, but who I thought was the best player, wide receiver, tight end, and I literally that draft, that league, I focused heavy on trying to trade people. Basically, I took players that I knew I didn't really have a spot for, but I knew would be highly valued by other teams eventually. And eventually, I just had so many good players. Everyone in the league was begging me to make a trade with them, basically, after, those initial rounds of injuries. And then after that, I really leveled my roster off a little bit. And then that year, I think I had to, like, week to week switch out, I think a tight end, actually. No, it wasn't a tight end. Yeah, actually, it might have been because I think I didn't get one of the 2 elite tight ends that I wanted in that draft. I only considered 2 top level, and, after that, I was like, "Well, there's no point wasting any picks on tight ends at this point, in my opinion." Um, and I took extra wide receivers, running backs, while other people were trying to scramble to find that tight end, and it just worked out the way the snake order went. Alright, we got 2 more picks here coming up. Again, we need a backup tight end and a backup running back. Let's see, Winter Buffalo's on the clock. Having the best season of his career. Finishing as a top 10 tight end for the second consecutive season. 13 touchdowns, so 6 and 7 the last 2 seasons. Third most of position over the past 2 seasons. He's never missed an NFL. That's a solid pick for tight end too, but for me, sadly, he's got the same bye week. What is it with these week 14 bye weeks, bro? Like, why? Houston, Baltimore, Washington, apparently New England. Like, oh, Malik Neighbors finally coming off the board. Do I take Brock? I think I'm going to take Brock. I would honestly think, oh, Cole's actually week 7, but I think Brock's the pick here. Cole could have a huge year, but there's so many wide receivers going to be gobbling up things. Yeah, we take Brock here. Who do they play week 14? The Vegas Raiders are playing Tampa Bay. That's a solid, especially if it's at. Oh, it's in Tampa, though. That's going to be rough. It's an away game. All right, we've got one more pick. We have a backup quarterback. We have our backup tight end. We need a backup running back for week 14 as well. That's going to be our big thing here. Hopefully it can be Jonathan Brooks or Tajay, but I want to really focus on, I think, another one here. I could go wide receiver too, though. 1, 2. Oh, Lad McConkey. That was a good pick. I was thinking heavily on that one. Austin Eckler might be that guy. I thought Carbonet was going to be. Ooh, I forgot about Chase Brown. I like him, but I like Ray Davis. I'm not in love with a lot of these running backs. I'm about to run out of time here. It's fine. I could always switch that pick out. Oh my God, I forgot. Washington has a week 14 bye. Oh my God. That's absolutely hilarious. I'm already about to head over to free agency and probably make some moves. Can't even lie to you. That's pretty funny, honestly. think I have to wait till the actual draft ends, though. Had zero pick analysis going on too, and following the trends of what teams already had. Got to be more on top of that. Like over here, you can flip through, I guess, other players' rosters. This is going to be a fun season, though. I'm excited, like I said, to already kind of explore free agency. I might make a few little moves here and there. This is going to be fun. Oh, the Kaimi Fairbairn, kicker out of Houston. Go to my team. Can I enter the sweepstakes? We're not going to do that. Exit the draft. See if we can refresh our roster here. We can. And there we are. We've got, let's see. Can we go to our first matchup? Players. Who am I playing week 1? I'm playing the Winter Buffalo, Hunter Paul. Oh, this is going to be fun. Let's say, okay. I'm surprised there's not a, most things have like the auto to set to max points. Let's see. Yeah. Wonder if JK is actually getting the start. And yeah, I mean, I love Kamani Vidal. Let's see. Do we have a depth chart for the Chargers? Los Angeles. Who's at the top of the depth chart for the Chargers? Oh, it's listed as Gus Edwards. Ooh, Gus the Bus going to get the start over JK. Wonder how that's going to end up over there in LA. Yeah, Mark. Tuck. God, I am so mad someone snatched the Baltimore Ravens defense. Got a joke. Whoever took that Ravens defense. Ooh. Whole computer kind of like blooped for a minute there. Oh, I'm so sad about not getting the Ravens defense. I knew I should have taken them just a tiny bit earlier. Oh, they went pretty high though, I felt like. Yeah, they went pretty high. ESPN Plus recommends. Thought I did. I thought I had actually ESPN. They have IR, which is crazy. I've actually never had a thing where IR is like on our thing. So I'm like, it's like, can I move him until he's ready week 3? What up, Christopher, my boy? How you doing today? I'm gonna have to look at the rules about IR. One player with the IR tag or tag placed under all the players must be moved on to no. On the active roster. Interesting. So I could move him. So I can move him technically, it seems like, to my IR and bring another running back on for temporarily. Manage IR, move to IR. That's beautiful. Done. Add players. I'm sorry I'm taking advantage of this. Running back. Think here. I know there's someone else that I'm thinking of that's might come back later in the season. I guess not. You know what? I might do it for Nick Chubb. It's either Keaton Mitchell or Nick Chubb. Derrick Henry is going to always eat his. Do I use this? This is tough. This is tough. Do I use it on Chubb or Keaton? He got his injury week 2. Keaton was like week 14. Yeah. I feel like Keaton's not going to be back for a while. We're going to add Chubb to the roster. Oh, I can't just. Oh, I thought I could because I had an IR spot. I've got an empty slot. Just let me add. Okay, cool. See, now we're going to manage IR. I can't add him, or did it not add him? It did not add him. Maybe I can. Okay, duh. I gotta wait for the waivers to go through. Okay. We're gonna double check some moves here then. I think we're good for the week 14. Is there any other better quarterbacks? Let's look at what quarterbacks we have left here. So we need just the quarterbacks available. Who's Chicago playing week 14? Chicago is playing San Fran. I'm not taking that bet. Not a chance. Carolina is playing Philadelphia. That's probably a bad bet. We got Stafford and the Rams playing Buffalo. That's not a really good bet either. Like it could be. It really could be. Jacksonville and Tampa. Jacksonville playing Tennessee. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. And Tampa playing the Las Vegas Raiders. And it's in Tampa. It's not a terrible pick. I really wish I could take Jaden, but Jaden's got that week 14 bye, if I'm not mistaken. Love how it doesn't tell me. Where is your bye week? Who are the Jets playing? Miami. That's no, I ain't taking a risk on that. Chargers playing Kansas City. Herbert could go off. Detroit. They're playing. Do they have a bye week too? Okay. Denver, Indy, New England, Washington, Baltimore, Houston all have bye weeks on week 14. That is really rough. Denver was yep. I was about to say, I'll take a shot on Bo Nix. Nope. Oh man. Tom Brady is still in the here, guys. You can still draft Tom Brady. I'm just saying. That's pretty funny. Joe Milton and Sam Howell, Spencer Rattler. So okay, there's a couple guys like potentially that could be late free agent additions. So we won't focus on any of those. Let's just look at the running backs again a little bit here. Austin Eckler could be a big find. We're hoping Tony Pollard's not that guy in Tennessee for Tyjae's sake. Javonte Williams has been gaining a lot of traction in Denver's backfield. They've also got some good rookies, if I remember correctly, though. It's almost why I wish, like, what up, John Jay? How you doing, my guy? It's like one of those ones where I almost like wish they had because they got Audric Estime in the fourth, Jaleel McLaughlin, Javonte Williams, Sam Perrine. Like they've got some potential players. We're hopefully going to add Chubb and move him to the IR just to. Gus Edwards could be good. I really like Chase Brown. I don't think Zach Moss is going to be that guy. I think I'm going to add Chase. The question is, it's an add drop situation potentially. And if I do that, who am I dropping? Who's got easiest schedules again? Is there any good defenses? We'll wait till the waiver wire probably before we make our moves. I don't think anyone's going to go and take my boy before then. When is the waiver wire? We actually just finished a little fantasy draft, John Jay. My boy Chimera actually from Friday night had a little 6-man league, I think with some of maybe his college friends, and so he asked me to join it because he had someone drop out last minute. So on like 2 hours of sleep, I got up and had a little quick draft. It was fun though. It was like just good to like see it in general, you know what I mean? And see kind of how the trends are going. That's right. We were looking for the waiver wire. So waiver period 1 day, reset each week to inverse of standings. Considering we got a week left, okay, I should be okay. I feel good about it. Hopefully, the picks work as I like them to, but it's gonna be tough. It's just man, I got a lot of players on bye week 14 already. Like, yeah, we just finished it. I'm really mad someone stole the Ravens defense from me. But Lamar, Derrick Henry, J.K., Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua, DJ Moore, Mark Andrews, Tank Dell, the Seahawks defense, Justin Tucker, Terry McLaurin, Stephon Diggs, Tyjae Spears, Dak Prescott, Brock Bowers, and Brian Robinson Jr. And then I grabbed Jonathan Brooks at one point, even though I know he's going to miss the beginning of the season. And we were already able to move him to IR, which is going to free up a roster spot, which we have pending. We're going to add probably Nick Chubb, and then immediately move him to IR, which then should open up another roster spot again which hopefully then we'll get in another roster acquisition before the season actually starts, which will fully load up the roster and which will be it'll be really good. Dak only had to get because man, again, the week 14 buys are going to kill me. There's no limits on. Wish I could just grab them and move them to IR already. It's gonna be a fun one though. I'm excited for it. I'm like I said, I might have another fantasy football league that I'm doing. Man, looking at the depth chart for the Broncos, they have no tight ends, like none. They need a lot of help on the defense too. But at the end of the day, Bo Nix has looked extremely good in his starts. They do have some wide receivers. They do have some really good running backs. They're actually, I think, like not greatly deep, but Cortland Sutton, great. Tim Patrick, solid. Josh Reynolds coming over from Detroit, solid. Marvin Mims Jr., huge fan. Troy Franklin from their draft pick from the University of Oregon, huge deep threat. Philip Dorsett's over there, technically behind Lil Jordan Humphrey. Love the name, so that they've got a solid wide receiver core over there. But Adam Troutman, Greg Dulcich, Lucas Kroll, Nate Adkins, not in love with the tight end core over there. But maybe, Bo didn't run a lot of tight ends over there, probably in Oregon. A lot of open set wide receivers, probably spread offense, and they're probably going to do a little bit of that over there as well. Bo actually did have a decent amount of play action as well. Him, Jaden Daniels, and my boy Gunnar Watson were the top 3 in play action passing. Garrett Bowles is solid. Ben Powers, former Raven. Luke Wattenberger, I think, played pretty well. I think Quinn Miernez played really well. And then they took Mike McGlinchey over from the 49ers, which I'm trying to see. They got JL Skinner. Okay, the safety from a rookie. I want to look at their draft. Oh, yeah. Where's Jonah Ellis on their depth chart? Bro. Where? He's buried as the 3rd Sam linebacker? He's not a Sam linebacker, though. He's an edge player. What? Hold on. We're going to go actually to Denver's website. That's bugging me now. Denver Broncos depth chart. Like, no way they have that. No, I don't want ESPN's. I want denverbroncos.com. What? Why? Oh God! If I do a preview show of Denver versus Baltimore, or I'm sorry, I should say Denver at Baltimore, I've got to discuss this with Parda. Why is Jonah Ellis, the edge rusher they took their 2nd draft pick this year, playing inside linebacker? Breathe. Absolutely ridiculous. If you're a Broncos fan, I'd be a little upset. We saw Troy Franklin. How's Chris Abrams Drain doing? Ooh, all the way at the bottom of the cornerback depth chart. That's not good. Steam Ace, 4th on the depth chart. Devon Vele, the wide receiver. Yeah, that's expected. Like, you gotta love too. Sam Mustipher left the Ravens to go to the Broncos, where he was 2nd on the depth chart here, and now he's 3rd on the depth chart over there in Denver. Yeah, okay. They got Gargulio lined up at left guard, but he's still 3rd string. Man, maybe just the coach over there's kind of putting some pressure on the rookies a little bit, but man, those other than Troy, all of the rookies, I should say, and Bo, I'm sorry, the rest of the rookies are buried down in that depth chart. That's disappointing for them. The biggest thing is I don't understand why Jonah Ellis on the Broncos depth chart is listed as inside linebacker. But all right, guys, it's been fun. This was just a quick little fantasy football draft that my friend invited me to that I decided to just stream last minute. You might notice behind me a little bit it's a little different behind me now. We're working on some stuff. We decided with our excuse me, our new apartment that we wanted to rearrange one more time to like open up the room a little bit and stuff like that. And while yes, I lose like that more perfect background behind me, like better setup. It's almost like hard to explain now. Like our PCs are just like in a line in a sense. And we went and bought some 43-inch TVs yesterday as well, with some wall mounts. If you've ever hung anything, especially like hanging a TV, you want to make sure you nail it the first time. You make sure you hit those studs, and everything lined up. The problem we're having, because Florida building code, I have one load-bearing wall to my left, one non-load-bearing wall to my right. And on my right wall, when I'm trying to hang something, I can't tell if I'm getting a false read on like an electrical line or a water line, and I'm not taking a chance on it. But so we've got our like 29-inch gaming monitor here in the middle. We've got our side monitor here with OBS, our StreamYard up on it, and then we're gonna mount the 43-inch TV, so it'll be like 3 monitors just in a row, and we'll have the 43-inch up over here. Hopefully with like the Xbox and everything hooked up as well. It might actually make potentially streaming from the Xbox a thing. Chimera says, "How are you feeling about your team?" I'll be honest, Chimera. I'm a little terrified for week 14. Week 14 has like literally half of my team on bye week. New England's on bye, Denver's on bye, Baltimore's on bye, Houston's on bye. Week 14 might get a little rough for me, to be 100% honest with you. How you feeling about your team? I'm the only thing I'm really disappointed, Chimera, is somebody took my Ravens defense, and I want my Ravens defense so bad right now. But I got to figure out who's got the Ravens defense too. Like, who's got my Ravens defense? Joey, if you see this, brother, we gonna throw some hands. I'm gonna get Chimera to tell me where you at. We coming to throw hands. Winner gets to keep the defense. Loser has to make the trade. Man, how are they projecting? Oh, against Kansas City. It's not for the season. The season, God, 50-point difference. So I'd have to give him almost a 50-point makeup potentially. Wonder if he'll recommend a trade. God. Well, all right, let's see. What is my boy missing? Do I have any Miami players he wants? I didn't take any of Miami players. One thing I've already done, Chimera, I've already taken advantage of my IR spot. You can actually see here. I went ahead and moved Jonathan Brooks to that IR spot. I've never had an IR league, so I'm kind of excited about it. But so I moved Jonathan Brooks to IR, and I'm already starting to make some moves here. Man, he took a good bit of Miami players. All right, hold on. Let's really figure this out. Miami bye week. Let's see. When does Miami have their bye? Week 6. So with that in mind, let's go look at the week 6 schedule. And let's see if we can find something that he's going to be craving. So when Miami goes on bye, are there any good blowout stop potential games? Oh, Houston versus New England. Oh, that's got to be a huge one. I'd trade him Tank. Let's see. Baltimore versus Washington. That should be a good one. Atlanta versus Carolina. That's going to be another good one. Cincinnati versus New York. That's another option. Niner fanatic John J says, hot take, the Bengals win the division. I mean, it all depends on if Joe Burrow is the old Joe Burrow. Their wide receiver core is going to be absolutely fine. I think getting rid of Joe Mixon might have helped them, but Zach Moss is not the answer. The answer is Chase Brown. If you're looking for a fantasy back in one of your leagues, I was high on Chase Brown. I featured him on my draft special last year. He had some meaningful snaps for them last year. Really showed his ability to be a pass catcher out of the backfield for Cincinnati. And like I said, I predict before the end of the season that he will take over the lead running back position in Cincinnati. That is my prediction for there. My Chimera says my team is long live the Empire. Want to go over my roster? Yeah, dude. Hold on, give me one more sec. My brain is still thinking about who I could trade to him. He's got good tight ends. What is he missing, in my opinion? He's got a third quarterback. Bro, why? He's going to need running back help, in my opinion, really bad. Who can I trade this man? I'll try. I'm going to try here. Brian Robinson Jr. for the Ravens defense. I'll try it. I'm going to send the trade proposal, and then I'm going to let's go check Chimera's team here. I got to go to full schedule, I think, there. Full schedule. Maybe not. Oh, roster stuff. I'm so stupid. There we go. Long live the Empire. Okay. So at quarterback, we have Anthony Richardson. Man, you took Kirk, man. Kirk was so high on my backup quarterback list just because Lamar has a bye week in week 14. In week 14, the Atlanta Falcons are playing the Minnesota Vikings. No chance you want to trade Dak Prescott for Kirk Cousins? I like the matchup better. I've got a pretty good matchup for him on week 14. I've got him versus Cincinnati late in the season. So if Cincinnati's got injury issues, he could, and I think Dak usually has pretty good games on like primetime games. So I'm hoping there, but it's one of those ones, there's not a lot of matchups I like that week, and Atlanta was my favorite matchup. Anthony Richardson's got a super high ceiling. Um, Knock on wood, you could have an injury problem at quarterback. Kirk, look, God forbid Kirk's Achilles or whatever is not properly healed correctly, and they have to go to Michael Penix, which they do feel comfortable with. And of course, Anthony got hurt last year, which I'm really praying for that young man. He doesn't, because I really like what I saw out of him. If that happens, I feel bad for you. Oh, brother, about to make a name for myself. I don't think you're walking away from this one, bud. You just make sure people know what happened here today. But Brees Hall, Jameer Gibbs, didn't something happen, Jameer? Okay, he's just dealing with a hamstring injury, so they're probably just, going light on him. Love Jameer Gibbs. Okay, Drake London, super high upside. CeeDee Lamb. Ooh, Chimera, I'm gonna be your friend here. Okay, hear me out. I'm gonna be your friend. Technically, since CeeDee Lamb is listed out, according it seems like to the league rules, you are allowed to move him to IR potentially right now. So God forbid, he's gonna like sits out, doesn't play, or anything. You could technically move him right now. Why is he designated out? Like, the thing is, it doesn't show any injury news. It just shows the Cowboys placed Lamb holdout on the reserve, did not report list Tuesday. So you could do what I kind of did with Jonathan Brooks and move him to your IR list, which then you could put in a fantasy. Yeah. But like I said, you could technically take advantage of that. Like I'll show you real quick on here. So here's my team. Oh, hold on. I don't have it up. I'm so sorry. Give me one moment. All right. So we'll zoom in so hopefully you can see better. All right. Yep. So as you can see, here's my team. I went ahead and moved Jonathan Brooks, even though he's not IR, he's just to my IR bench, which now I have an empty slot, which I've already put in someone for a fantasy waiver. So technically, you could do the same if I'm not mistaken. Brees Hall, I absolutely love. He looked great last year. Michael Pittman with Anthony Richardson, high upside. Travis Kelsey, you couldn't go wrong with that pick. Josh Jacobs, I want to actually look at something involving them. Give me one moment here. I do like the pick. I was thinking about making the pick myself. Okay, yeah, AJ Dillon, the backup, but what's the injury going on with Marshawn Lloyd? I have a weird feeling Marshawn could win that starting job if he gets healthy. It's a hamstring issue. No timeline for his return. Uh, Marshawn Lloyd had one of the highest elusive ratings in all of college football last year. I'm a huge fan. I think next year he's really going to break out potentially. Might be hard this year with Jacobs and Dillon there on the roster. 49ers defense going to be one of the best defenses in football this year. I think they might actually end up having some run defense issues, kind of like the Cowboys, especially early on until they get Greenlaw back, but still going to be absolutely solid. Harrison Butker, the kicker, can't go wrong. Evan Ingram as the backup tight end. I really like it. I've always been an Evan Ingram fan. Nico Collins, I almost took over Tank, and I know Tank's coming back from injury, but and Nico got his money, so that's a tit for tat issue. Love the Nico pick. DK Metcalf. Okay, so I thought about taking DK. I love DK. I've always loved DK. I don't know what we're gonna get out of Seattle. So Gino, the thing is this, it almost looked like Gino took a step back last year. The thing is he was still hitting percentage-wise, a lot of his like the same looks he got the year before. There was definitely a drop off in play in the Seattle Seahawks offensive line. However, Bradford, the guard out of LSU they took, is going to continue to develop in his second year. I think he will get much better. He played, I think, a bunch of football snaps last year and might have had an injury, and that's when their line started going even worse. Of course, they signed Connor Williams, the center from Miami. He was, before his injury last year, like the best center in the league at one point. If he has any semblance of what he was in Miami pre-injury, that offensive line got dramatically better. And just being able to shift whoever was the center potentially into a guard position battle, huge, absolutely huge. They made some other good free agent signings as well. And of course, with Mike McDonald coming in as the offensive coordinator, I expect that Seattle team to run. But here's where DK gets interesting. So the offensive line gets better. DK might get some better looks, maybe a little less looks potentially, because they're going to be running a lot. But if anything happens to Geno and Sam Howell comes in, Sam Howell put up 4,000 yards with a pretty bad Washington team last year. Now, his turnovers were absolutely game killing. If he did not have as many turnovers as he had in the last season, the Commanders would have been fighting for playoff spot, I feel like wild card, but that division's always, So Sam Howell, I feel like if he comes in, adds dramatic value to DK Metcalf. Kirk Cousins, like I said, absolutely love that pick. Between Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Tyler Algier, Kyle Pitts. Hold on, I'm actually going to run through that one real quick a little bit too, because I think Atlanta, yes, they've gotten a lot of shit, but let's run through it. So, of course, Kirk Cousins is there. Bijan, Tyler Algier, like we talked about. Jason McClellan looked really good in preseason. Drake London, they brought in Darnell Mooney, who was a deep ball guy from Chicago. He's hoping to have a career renaissance. Ray McLeod in the slot's always been kind of reliable. Casey Washington and Chris Blair, though, showing a lot in the preseason. They're pretty excited about those two guys. Unfortunately for them, they've got two wide receivers headed to IR, so they might be in the wide receiver market. Can you imagine? Oh, my God. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I got to go over the cap for this. I got to see if this is even possible. Because a dark horse candidate just hit me. How do you make up the cap space? They'd have to do some maneuvering. I don't know if they could. God, it's that dead money. They've got $60 million in dead money. Can you imagine if the Atlanta Falcons added Brandon Ayuk? So their wide receiver core would be Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and Brandon Ayuk instead of Ray McLeod. Well, basically Darnell Mooney and Ray McLeod would fight for wide receiver 3, and Drake London and Brandon Ayuk would be the starting wide receivers with Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts. Now, I think that's a great move. I don't know what they'd have to give up for it. And I don't think that they have any players really that would interest them. The only they're not interested in Grady Jarrett. They don't have the cap space. They've got $6 million this year, $5 million next year, and then in 2026, because Grady Jarrett, Kyle Pitts, a lot of their bigger guys coming off their books in 2026, they go up to $96 million in cap. Drake London, so they're going to have to, re-sign a lot of these rookies then. God, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, if I was the Atlanta Falcons, how do I free up all this cap space to make a Brandon Ayuk move? It's like you could make the Jesse Bates the third, but they signed him like last year, I believe. You know, some teams go over the cap. Mm. Do they go over the cap for 2 years to make their runs with Kirk Cousins, basically? And then, of course, that after that point, I think they could get out of the Kirk deal and move on with 3 years left on Michael Penix's deal. Ooh, I would do that I'm not gonna lie. If I'm the Atlanta Falcons owner, that's my move, 100%. Uh, with Kirk, you're obviously trying to get competitive now. They've got a good stadium down there. I love what they did with the pricing thing. They've only got 2 free agents after this season. They are locked up to rerun this back after this year, basically. With that said, yeah, you bet, dude. I'm going and getting Ayuk. I'm signing to the deal. The deal is not going to hit hard in the first year. The second year, I can probably make some restructures. Maybe someone like Jake or Grady or Jesse or Caleb. David Omanyada's 32 many years old. You could probably move on from him. He's what he's their starting nose tackle, I guess. So why do they have Ora Horo listed as their backup nose tackle? What? Not his position. Rockout says, do you guys like 4 points or 6 points per passing touchdown? That's actually a great question, my guy. I feel like 6 points. Receivers, you know what? Hear me out. Hear me out here. I just thought of this. I like 6 points for the wide receivers and 4 points for the quarterbacks. The wide receivers got to work to get them yards and them touchdowns, you know? While, case in point, a wide receiver, if they have a 100-yard game, they had a great game, an outstanding game. God forbid a wide receiver hits 200 yards. Whew, we talking NFL records. But a quarterback puts up 100 yards. Bro, I got to find a new quarterback, man. 100 yards. Quarterback puts up 200 yards. Okay, I guess he had a decent game. You got to put up over 200, closer to 300 to have a good or great game for a quarterback, basically. So weirdly, with that question, I would almost like argue, can we get 4 points for the passing touchdown for a quarterback and 6 for a wide receiver? I know maybe I'm a little crazy there, but I definitely, if I was the Atlanta Falcons, I would make this move for Ayuk. I really would. Steelers defense, always good. That's a great pick. Calvin Ridley, I love his route running. And James Conner, I've been like betting against Conner for years, and he keeps putting up points. You know what I'm saying? I will say, actually, hold on. Let me double check their depth chart here for the Cardinals as well. And I want to talk a little bit more actually about those the Falcons, more about the defense, to be honest with you. But Trey Benson, keep an eye on him out in Arizona. If anything happens to James Conner, Trey Benson's a guy to keep an eye on out there. Like, I really wanted to take Marvin Harrison Jr., but I just don't trust that team. Kyler Murray, I don't trust him. Desmond Ridder did not look. I was a fan of Ridder. He did not look good in Atlanta. And Clayton Tune was part of my draft special. He failed me last year. He was one of my guys that failed me. But no matter what, he's on a team, and that's a win in my opinion, that he's on a team. It's pretty funny is Chimera. Actually, you have one of my, like, literally, I don't know if he's on your depth chart. I'm about to go check now. He's probably not going to make the team. Yeah, he's not even listed, man. That's rough. I'm really hoping he beats out Ben DiNucci. I don't think Gunner's still playing, sadly. Let's see. That's from the HBCU game. That's so rough. Yeah, you've got one of my favorite guys, but I don't see him even on your depth chart, which is a little rough. I guess he's not going to make it, probably. I'm hoping maybe somewhere he'll latch on. I really, like I said, I liked what I saw from the young man. But the Atlanta Falcons, don't sleep on their defense. Grady Jarrett's never gotten the love that he should have got. Omenyata, solid nose tackle. Contavious Streets added really good depth. They drafted Zach Harrison last year out of Ohio State, had the longest arms out of any linebacker. Of course, they brought in Matthew Judon after the Braylon Trice injury. Caden Ellis, I don't think he was their draft class, but was he? Or was that last year? I think that was last year. Trying to see where the rest of their rookies are. I'm looking for Brandon Dorless, mostly. And Jason McClellan, like I said, fourth on their depth chart, the halfback from Alabama they drafted this year, looked really good in the preseason. That's going to be an interesting team. Like I said, I'd go make a move for Ayuk if I was them, especially if you're not really getting what you want from wide receiver 3 and you need a little more oomph. Let me see, though. Who's got the best team? Oh, not Winter. Let's see. Football is life. Football is life, and you have really good rosters. I know my roster. Let's check. Welcome to Miami. Again, solid roster. I don't like his 3 quarterback choice, but to each his own. Now let's see. The guy who had the very first overall pick. I mean, he's got some good picks, but I think right now the highest level of value team wise, it's got to be me, you, and football is life. Maybe welcome to Miami in that, but I'm not in love with Rashad White. I think Bucky Irving might win that job. Jordan Love usually plays better at the end of the season. Tua, he wants money, so we'll see about that. He's got a lot of Miami players, like I have a lot of Raven players, which can be a disadvantage. It all depends if he paid attention to his bye weeks. Like I started looking at where my bye weeks were a little bit after I got my value. I know drafting Henry where I drafted him might have been crazy, but I really don't care. Some years when money's not on the line in fantasy football, sometimes I let my heart speak a little more than it probably should. But yeah, man, I hope he gives me that trade. I highly, highly doubt he's going to. But let me see. When is Miami's got a week 6 bye week, if I remember correctly. Oh, week 6 schedule. What's a good defense I could pick up to trade him? Yeah, thanks for having me, Chimera, by the way, man. I really appreciate it. It was like I said, it was fun. I'm gonna enjoy playing, and it's was good practice too. If I do another fantasy football league that's a little bigger. It's like a bigger league and a smaller league are both fun in different ways, if that makes sense. Like, who's going to be the best defensive matchup? Green Bay is going to probably feast on Arizona. Houston's going to feast. Man, is Houston's defense still out there? I doubt it. Let's see. Add players. We're looking for defense. Ooh, okay. Houston's defense is there. I could try to make that trade. He took Miami's defense first, so I feel like he's going to keep that. And there's no point in having so much defensive depth. Like, when you pick a second defense, if you pick one, I've had a lot of leagues where I don't even pick a second defense. Sometimes I don't pick a second kicker, second tight end, because I'm able to usually drop a running back that got injured or just really isn't performing, total bust, and pick a 1 week defense kind of thing. And then the beauty of that is the earlier in the week, bye week is in the season, the more power that strategy holds. So again, let's say week 4 comes around and or week 5, and I've got 3 players on bye and I got to move them all. And one of them's like a kicker, tight end. God forbid I'm having a bust or someone's underperforming or seriously injured. You drop them, make your 1 week pick, and then you have someone that you can take as oh, this guy's gaining momentum, or, this guy's injured. This guy's going to get the snaps this week. And that has always paid off for me, having that roster flexibility. I really feel like potential, though, the Houston Texans might be one of those teams to possibly view for his bye week and maybe try to convince him on. And that's one of those ones I'm trying to convince him to trade me the Baltimore Ravens defense and maybe do the Houston defense in a swap. But I'm not trying to fleece him. I legitimately think that is probably the best points matchup for defense going to be that entire week. Houston going to Gillette Stadium, New England not expected to be that good this year. Dang, tickets at the Saints Tampa game are as low as $35 right now. Dang, tickets for the Panthers Falcons game in Carolina right now, low as $23. Holy crap. That makes me think about just going and buying some tickets for that game. And God forbid they actually get off to a hot start and Bryce Young's looking like a comeback player of the year candidate. That game could be worth a lot more. I might think about that as an investment opportunity, to be 100% honest with you. So we're going to be playing Washington that week. That's a pretty good matchup too. But I would argue Washington's going to be way more competitive than New England's going to be. Atlanta versus Carolina is another good one. Is Atlanta's defense available? It is. See, they could feast that week. Like, very well could. Let's see. Week 6, they're predicted to get 11 points, basically almost the most out of their entire year. Wait. Week 6 is when they would need to play Baltimore's defense. Okay, so week 6. How did I mess that up? Atlanta playing Carol. Oh, I'm still on week 14, aren't I? No, that is week 6. And Miami is on bye week. I'm so confused. Oh, is that last year's? Yeah, that's last year's. I thought that was projections. That's going to be tough. I'd like to sell it, though. I really want that Ravens defense, so I guess we'll see. But all right, guys, it's been fun. I appreciate anyone who dropped in today to watch us have that fantasy football draft. Look forward to. I don't have my calendar. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Got the trusty old calendar here. All right, so got the calendar. You can see we've got bunch of stuff penciled in here. So, of course, fantasy football draft today. That was fun. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern time, guys, we have Kyle Kitts, Denver Broncos fan, going on his channel for an interview to talk about Ravens offseason move, acquisitions, and things like that. We're going to, of course, continue our second ever on the channel, Jackbox Gaming, Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time. We go a little later on for our West Coast friends because we got a lot of people from the West Coast that join. Then the following day, Saturday, the final preseason game for the Baltimore Ravens at Lambeau Stadium versus the Green Bay Packers. If we have a fantasy football draft, the following week we'll have our bigger league fantasy football draft. And again, every Friday we've got Jackbox Gaming and Q&A here on the channel. We started that last week. If you haven't come in and checked it out, come in this Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern. We had an absolute riot. We were dying and crying, laughing. We had room for more people to come in and play. Not necessarily, you don't have to come on the stream and like camera and everything. You can just actually join our game from your phone, tablet, computer, and join in and chat with us and have some fun. So, again, make sure you come check that out. And I appreciate anyone and everyone for coming and hanging out with us today. Hopefully by tomorrow, the background behind me will look a little different again. I don't know if my camera is going to work in the new position. We gotta get it all set up and try in the new positions. But we had to throw it together for today. But with that being said, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your Monday afternoon. Catch me again tomorrow, 9 p.m. Kyle Kitts interview. And if you have a fantasy football draft coming up, I hope you crush it and you win your league, unless I'm playing against you. With that, guys, it's been fun. I'm Levi, aka Darwin's Raven, and we're out of here.